Hello everyone, I am Utkarshita Menurkar from Standard 10 and I am going to conduct a seminar on nutrition in human beings, which is part of the lesson Life Process. In this video, I will be taking the whole process of digestion in detail. The table of content is as follows. What do we mean by nutrition in human beings? What is digestion? Various parts of digestive system and their function, and at last we'll have a look on an animation which will show us the journey of the food in the alimentary canal. Nutrition in human beings. Human nutrition deals with the provision of essential nutrients in food that are necessary for the support of human life, its good health, and its growth. In order to synthesize these nutrients, digestion plays a vital role. Let's have a look on a digestive system. It consists of mouth, the esophagus, stomach, small intestine, pancreas, liver, gallbladder, colon, rectum, and at last the anus. The digestive system of humans consists of alimentary canal or gut and some accessory digestive organs. Alimentary canal is a long canal of 6 to 9 meters, coiled and muscular tube extending from mouth to anus, consists of many specialized sections. The sequential arrangement of the alimentary canal is as follows. The mouth, known as the oral or buccal cavity, the pharynx, followed by esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine, rectum, and the anus. The buccal cavity. It has cheeks, tongue, teeth, which helps in the crushing and grinding of food. Ptyalin is an enzyme, a form of amylase found in saliva that breaks down starch into maltose and dextrin. It is thoroughly mixed with the help of tongue. The saliva also acts as a lubricant and ensures the smooth movement of the bolus in the alimentary canal. The pharynx is the part of throat behind the mouth and the nasal cavity. This connects the mouth through esophagus to the esophagus. Esophagus is a muscular tube connecting pharynx with the stomach. It is also called as the food pipe. Stomach is the most distensible part, thick muscular J-shaped organ present on the left side of upper part of abdominal cavity. It consists of 4 parts: cardiac stomach, fundus, body, pyloric antrum, also known as pylorus. Stomach helps in the mechanical churning and chemical digestion of food. Small intestine is the longest part of our alimentary canal, which is approx 6 meters. It is a narrow tube divided into 3 parts: duodenum, jejunum, and ileum. Small intestine is the main region where the digestion and absorption of foods take place. Large intestine is also called as colon. It consists of 3 parts. The first is cecum, colon, and the rectum. Cecum ends in a tubular structure called vermiform appendix. It was considered as a vestigial organ, but recent researches proved that it's not. It acts as a safe house for good bacteria. When we suffer from food poisoning or an infection, the stomach flushes out all the bacteria in the food ingested, where the appendix plays its work and helps in the regeneration of the good bacteria in our gut. Colon helps in the conservation of water and minerals and the formation of feces. Rectum is a straight 8-inch chamber that connects the colon to the anus. It acts like a juncture. The rectum's job is to receive stool from the colon and let you know that there is stool to be evacuated, and hold until evacuation happens. Anus has anal sphincters, which relaxes when a nuclear input is given and a stool is assisted. There are some accessory digestive organs from which the food does not travel but plays an important role in digestion. The pancreas. The pancreas secretes digestive enzymes into duodenum that break down protein, which is broken with the help of trypsin. The fats are broken with the help of lipase and the carbohydrates are broken with the help of amylase. The pancreas also makes insulin, passing it directly into the bloodstream. Insulin is the chief hormone in our body for metabolizing sugar. Liver has many functions, but its main job within the digestive system is to process the nutrients absorbed from the small intestine. Bile is also secreted in the liver and it's stored in the gallbladder. The gallbladder stores and concentrates bile from the liver and then releases it into the duodenum in the small intestine to help absorb and digest fats. It also changes the acidic nature of chyme to alkaline. Now let's have a look on the journey of food in our alimentary canal. Once the food is ingested, it is broken into smaller pieces with the help of teeth. It is thoroughly mixed with the saliva, breaking the complex sugar into simple sugar with the help of enzymes present in the mouth. Then it finally forms bolus. This bolus then begins its journey and passes through a soft palate which covers the upper throat and prevents the entry of the bolus in nasal cavity. Then it passes through pharynx and drops on epiglottis, which prevents the entry of food into the trachea, known as the windpipe. The food finally enters into the esophagus. The rhythmic contraction and relaxation leads the bolus to stomach. This movement is called as peristalsis. The food finally enters into the stomach through esophageal sphincter. Here we have 4 sections of stomach. The first is cardiac stomach, then the fundus, body, and the pylorus. Here we can see the action of digestive juices and hydrochloric acid on food. The concentrated hydrochloric acid does not harm stomach because of the inner lining of it, which is mucous membrane. The inner wall of the stomach protects it from its own acidic content. The hydrochloric acid acts on the food molecules and kills the bacteria, which are harmful for us. It also facilitates the action of enzyme pepsinogen, forming pepsin, and acts on protein to break down it into the amino acids. The mechanical churning and chemical digestion of the food is done in the stomach, which leads to the formation of an acidic fluid called chyme. This chyme then travels to pyloric sphincter to duodenum, which is the first part of our small intestine, where it mixes with pancreatic secretions and liver secretions. Then it enters into the second portion of our small intestine, that is jejunum. Then to the third portion, ileum, where most of the absorption takes place. The unabsorbed material is then descended to large intestine through ileocecal valve. The blank sac structure is cecum. The major function is to absorb water and solutes, that is fatty acids, and to form stool. The finger-like projection at the end of the cecum is appendix. The peristaltic movement takes it through ascending colon and takes a bend, which is hepatic flexure, and moves through transverse colon and takes a major bend, splenic flexure. Then it moves through descending colon, and before getting into the rectum, it goes through the sigmoid colon. The unabsorbed material is stored in the rectum till any neural input is given. The absorption of minerals and water takes place in the colon and the rectum. Once neural input is given, the anal sphincter muscle relaxes and the food is digested. Thank you.